Welcome back to VulcanVentures Behind the Bike. It is episode 2. We're off to a great start today. I dropped my bike almost immediately. And by almost immediately, I mean literally the second I tried to pull out of my driveway. I let it down very slowly. It was because, and if you watched my previous couple maintenance videos, I took my wheels off and changed the tires, and I forgot to pump my brakes back up. So when I went to go hit the brakes, I had nothing and just rolled down the hill. But I'm okay. The bike is okay. Just a little bit of a scare is all. So I figured we'd hit the second episode of Behind the Bike on this bike because, you know, I mean, first off, I haven't ridden it yet, but secondly, it's just because, I mean, why not? It's also been through a lot of work. You guys have seen it in maintenance videos, but haven't actually seen it ride, so I figured I would take it out today. So I'm headed to work again. I'm going in later today because I was taking care of a couple of things on this one before wanting to leave. So now that they're taken care of, I'm going off to work. And I gotta say, I really, really love the way this bike feels. You guys know that I absolutely adore my Vulcan S, and this is pretty much just a step up because it is pretty much the Vulcan S, but more like a pillow. You know, you ride this one and you're super comfortable. It goes nice and fast. It's got torque where you need it. The 900cc is definitely a huge upgrade when it comes to smoothness of the ride. And I've also noticed it kind of runs just a little bit lower too. Like the seat height, I think, is actually lower on this bike than the other one. Or if it isn't, it definitely feels like it. Which is strange, because, I don't know, Vulcan S just looks like a smaller bike. You would kind of think it would have a lower seat height. Yeah, I just figured I would take you through the same route that I took the Vulcan S on, and just to kind of have a good time, especially now that I got those new tires. And then I'm gonna go take the bike out and get it washed after work because it's been sitting so long. It's got all that pollen and stuff on it. I've been sick over the past week and a half with my allergies. They've been really bad. And that's why I haven't really recorded a lot more videos since this past week and a half. We got hit by a fuckload of pollen, and immediately after that, we got hit by some extreme cold temperatures. And even on Friday, this past Friday, we experienced a 38-degree morning and then an 80-degree afternoon. So that really got me screwed up. And I mean, I didn't do much of anything Saturday. I didn't do much of anything Sunday either. I just went to work and went back home and laid down. But I'm starting to feel a little bit better now, and that means it's time for a ride. Now that I can have full concentration back, you know, because the last thing you want to do is go riding when you're not feeling your best, because that's how you wind up getting hurt. Let's talk about my college experience. It's not been the greatest so far. I know that in the last video I said that I was going to attend flight school, and that's still happening, but the time that I'm planning on going to flight school is going to wind up being around September this year. So if you're looking for some ride and flight content, it's pushed back till then. Up until then, I am working on saving money for the flight school by working both my jobs, and in addition to that, I've got college. I've got my college courses currently. So basically the plan that I'm following is that I'm going to attend. I'm enrolled in Sophia courses, and the Sophia courses are transferable to the university that I'm going to go to. And what I'm going to wind up doing is going from Sophia courses and then the flight school. It's a Part 61 flight school. I'm going to take my PPL and a couple extra bonus hours that I'm going to try to accumulate and transfer that in to I'm going to transfer that into a university and get a bachelor's degree in aviation. And obviously the hopes behind that is to get an early entry into the airlines. But while I'm working on the Sophia courses, it's just kind of been a nightmare because a lot of them have a bunch of essays, and the essays are not fun. I'll tell you that right now. The English section of the courses, the English course has been pretty miserable. They have you write 5 essays, and now I don't know if you guys know a lot about Sophia, but they're at your own pace. So you pretty much, you know, you enroll in courses, and as soon as you complete them, you can move on to the next one. But you can only take 2 at a time. So I've been trying to knock out courses as quickly as possible, but courses like English make it a little difficult because they've got so many essays. Meanwhile, there are other courses that you can take, and they're all just tests and like homework questions, and you can breeze through those. I had a conflict resolution course that I took. I was able to breeze through that within 5 hours and move on to another course. But again, that one didn't have any essays to go along with it. Also, it was a lot of common sense. I mean, if you've ever solved a problem before in your life, you could definitely pass that course. But I wrote my my first English essay was a narrative essay, and I decided to write mine about my my MSF course. Because that's how I originally got my license. I don't know if I mentioned that in my last video. I got my motorcycling license by passing the Motorcycle Safety Foundation course. And, I mean, I didn't pass with flying colors, I'll tell you that much. I made some huge mistakes. But, you know, my instructor, he still passed me. He said it was like he had to score like an 80 or something overall on the practical exam, and I guess I must have just gotten away with it. And since then, I've definitely taken that as like a sign that I needed to spend some more time learning. Because even though I passed, just passing barely, I was personally not too satisfied with it, and that's why I went and got a 2005 Honda Rebel on a buddy of mine sold it to me, and I rode that for 2 months. I rode that thing every day until I fucking mastered it, and now I'm here. So I literally did ride that thing 60 days straight. My car blew up on me midway through, so I was kind of locked into riding it. And yeah, that's shortly after I mastered the damn thing, I went and got my Vulcan S, and then I had a good time riding that. And I still have it, of course. I've got some planned videos for it. I'm thinking about like a maybe chain maintenance video, because my chain is starting to get pretty rusty. I need to clean it again. I've kind of been neglecting it because I've been riding this one around, and also just working on this one more has been tying myself more closely to it than the Vulcan S. You know how you kind of fall in love with something the more you work on it, and that's this thing. I haven't really had to touch the Vulcan S much because it didn't really have any problems when I got it, other than the battery. And this thing's had a slew of problems that I've had to fix, which has just made me closer to it. But back to the MSF course, kind of just to walk you through it if you never rode a motorcycle before. I'll kind of tell a quick story about how mine was and what to expect. So you show up, it's usually over the weekend, you go Saturday, Sunday, it's a 2-day course. And you go there about 8 o'clock in the morning, and they try to get you out of there around like 2:30. So it's about a 13-hour course across both days. And they'll start you off real soft. You know, they check your eyes, they make sure that you know, you're safe to ride in the first place, and they have you do a little risk evaluation. And basically they're hoping that they'll be able to calculate whether or not you're going to be a safe cyclist once you're out on the road. And pretty much immediately after that, you know, you go introduce yourselves to each other, because it's a class with numerous people. And you hop straight on the bike from there, which is awesome, honestly. They just throw you right into the experience. And me personally, I'd never ridden a motorcycle before taking the MSF course. I never rode a dirt bike. I hadn't even ridden a bicycle in 10 years. So I wasn't a prime candidate, I don't think, for passing immediately, which is why I was so surprised when I did, especially considering how many things I failed leading up to the actual test. But they had us hop on our bikes. We had a mix of Suzuki GZ250s and Honda Rebels. I was on a GZ250, and I didn't like that thing very much. It felt really weird and off balance. It definitely would have been easier to take the test on a Honda Rebel, I think. So if you're dedicated to wanting to learn to ride, go ahead and get a Rebel and bring it there yourself. It's probably better off. But we met up and had a good time. And the thing is that you know, I'd never ridden a bike, so we start out with the basics. We went for let's see, they just had us walk with it. Like, you know, they had us mounted up, start the bike, and just go ahead and slowly walk with it to teach you throttle control. And I sucked at that, I'm not gonna lie. My throttle control, especially at the beginning, I'm not really the best now either, but it's definitely gotten better. But back then I was really, really, really bad. I've never driven a manual either, so that didn't help. I didn't have any sort of idea what I was doing at all, which made the course a lot harder, but it was also much more rewarding. But after the regular just walk with it, they had us put our feet up and try to ride balanced. And I'm not gonna lie, I started freaking out. I didn't trust the bike whatsoever. I thought I was gonna fall over, and I almost got kicked out of the course because I was too scared to do it. And eventually, you know, my instructor comes down to me. He's just like, you know, if you're not willing to learn, if you're too scared, you might as well go home. I'm not going to stop you. And I was just like, that's when that little bit of stubbornness came out of me, and I was like, nah, I got this. I'll figure it out. And that's exactly what I did. I kept trying, and I got there in the end. And it was very difficult. It was very scary. I've screwed up the weave, you know, where you weave between the cones. I screwed that up like 100 times. I didn't even get it right until the test. The test was the first time I'd gotten it right. Even on the practice of the test, I got it wrong. But for whatever reason, I locked in, and I was like, yep, I'm getting it this time.